I'd also like to hear from, ask one more student, Calvin Works, to speak. Calvin's a sophomore from Florida, and he is a recipient of the Richard and Linda Ritholz Scholarship. Please join me in welcoming Calvin.
Thank you for having me. I see a few familiar faces out there, but for those of you that I haven't had the pleasure to meet, my name is Calvin Works. I'm a student here in the Olin Business School, double majoring in finance and political science with a minor in international business. Now, I don't really know how to go about conveying how incredible my scholarship and donor has been on my life, so I figure I'll just tell my story and hope that you get a fraction of the enjoyment listening to it that I've had living it. So like any good story, mine starts at the end of high school. I worked hard in high school, and like many of you, had the dream of coming to WashU. And with that dream, I applied to university and fast forward through application season to decision day, and I clicked that view decision button. And I was waitlisted. Now, for those of you that don't know how the waitlist process works, you essentially send in a letter to the gods of the admission department and hope that they look kindly on your sacrifice and grant you admission through the pearly gates of WashU. I did this, nothing. I was desperate. I had the dream of coming to WashU, and I was determined to get in. So I did what I call the waitlist Hail Mary. I sent in a second letter, except this was actually a picture of me hanging upside down from a tree with a WashU t-shirt on. And on this picture, I wrote in big black letters, "I'm just hanging around to get off the waitlist." I sent this letter off, and in the next few days, I ended up lying in my bed, and my mom comes in with the phone, and she goes, Calvin, it's WashU, it's WashU. And she handed me the phone, and I got in. And of course, like the manly man that I am, I cried for a few hours. And so did my mom, so did my dad, my dog barked in the background. It was a mess. But that day, I thought that that was the best day of my life. Everything that I had worked for the past 12 years of my education finally paid off. I was going to WashU. Anyway, fast forward a few more days, and I'm coming home from school, and my parents are sitting on the couch, sort of solemn looking. And they usher me over, and they say, Calvin, we need to talk. And they gave me the talk like I'm sure many of you have had. The finance talk, that is. They said, quite honestly, Calvin, we're incredibly proud of you. But WashU is an expensive institution, and we just don't have that money right now. And unless you get an incredibly generous financial package, we just don't think that you're going to be able to attend. So a few more days passed, and eventually the letter came. And with my parents huddled around me, I peeled it open, and on the top it said, congratulations, Calvin. You've received the Richard and Linda Ritholz Scholarship, a full scholarship. And I didn't cry, at least not immediately. My dog barked in the background. It was too overwhelming for that. But what I did do is I stood there with my parents huddled around me, and we embraced each other. And in that moment, I have never felt so much compassion in my entire life, not only from my parents as they've worked to educate me and make me into the man that I am today, but also from this Richard and Linda Ritholz, people that I've never met before that had enough belief in me, again, that they have never met me, that they would give me an opportunity to come to my dream institution, WashU. And it's that day that I received that financial package that I can say is the best day of my life. Since then, I've walked through the pearly gates of WashU, and life couldn't be better. I mean, it's hard, I guess. But looking past that, I've had the opportunity to pursue really whatever I want, whether that's being on the club rugby or club soccer team or club tennis team or pledging a fraternity, or even being on the executive board of Washington University Investment Banking, an association designed to get students into the premier investment banks and financial institutions in the globe. Now, I say all this because it wouldn't be possible without a single point: the people. Regardless of the academics or the extracurriculars, WashU is an incredible institution because of the people that make up it, whether it's the students, whether it's the faculty, the staff, or the alumni. And a more concrete illustration of this in my life has been through two alumni here in the St. Louis area, Pete and Doug Vilhart of Vilhart Growth Partners, which is a growth buyout firm, again, based here in St. Louis. Last spring, they had a program through Washington University that allowed students to work with them and really sort of get their hands wet with the experience of finance. And as a freshman that quite honestly had little to no value add to their firm, I had the opportunity to learn in a way that I never expected. And lastly, I'll close with this. I want to talk about my mentor, my donor, my friend, Richard Ritholz. My interaction with Mr. Ritholz was first one of incredible gratitude. I mean, he gave me a scholarship that allowed me to pursue my dream. But since then, having somebody that's lived through the finance industry, that's sort of on the other side of it, and being able to go to them with any questions that I have and any concerns, even though I'm at the very beginning of my finance career, I've certainly had a lot of questions. And having that person that I can go to and somebody that I've really developed a relationship with has been the most incredible gift that WashU has given me. And the reason that I close with this is because regardless of the academics or the incredible time that I'm having at this institution through my extracurriculars, the biggest thing that I've learned and the biggest experience that I've had is the value that relationships have in my life. And if there's anything that I ask you to take away from this tonight, it's to seek out those relationships and seek out to better yourself through other people. Thank you for having me, and I hope that you have a great evening.
I don't know about you, but I can't wait to see the picture Calvin sends in when he's applying for his next job. So